Hey, what's going on, everybody? How y'all feeling today?
Feeling good, Brody. How you feeling?
I'm
Good, good. How
feeling
you doing,
fine.
man?
I'm feeling fine. Just happy to be here.
Yeah,
Um,
good afternoon. Feeling good.
Get
Good
things started.
afternoon,
Hey, what's up,
everybody.
KB?
What's up, everybody?
Hey, Peter.
Hey everyone, good afternoon.
What's up,
Afternoon.
Robel?
What's going on, Antoine?
I couldn't hear that video in the beginning. I don't know if it was just me.
No, I couldn't either. I thought I was getting.
Yeah, I didn't have the sound shared. It's all good.
Okay. All
Y'all
right.
heard it before.
Okay. I mean, we heard it before, right?
Yeah, so it's cool. So yeah, so let's just go ahead and hop right in. So we got a impactful week ahead of us with the market, and let's just hop right into it. So, by watching or reading this, you're saying you understand the following. I am not a financial advisor. This is not trading advice. This session is solely for educational purposes. There are significant financial risks associated with options trading, and I'm not liable for your wins or losses in the market if you decide to act on this information. Okay, cool. Let's just hop right into it. So look, we're just hopping right into things this week, man. So look, this is how the market, this is the sector performance from last week to this week, right? And let's just focus on this week right here. Technology surged, with Meta, Nvidia, and let's just say, we always said before that the market, the market cannot run without the semis. And the semis came out hard, man. So we got we'll get into it more deep, but shout out to Nvidia, shout out to ARM, shout out to it's a lot of other stocks. Well, AMD, it couldn't even, where's Wayne? I mean, where is Wayne at? Speaking of AMD, is Wayne on here? Yeah, he on here. Yeah, because
Right here, bro. How y'all doing?
how you doing, bro?
Good, man. Good.
Yeah, so and then energy started coming back. We were just talking about this a few weeks ago. We're like, where was energy? Because it's been dead for a while. So we'll take a look at a few energy stocks to see how everything is going. We're gonna also take a look at yeah, I see that healthcare came back also. But look, but you see how you get the inverse sometimes. You get some of the sectors that were ailing last week or lagging last week, you get the flip, so it just give us some time, that sector rotation is real, but it's also, but I look at it for short term, just for short term. This is week to week. So let's just hop right into things. Options. So last Friday, Meta finished Friday with the highest options call volume. I mean, we saw what happened with Meta. We had Nvidia, Microsoft, MSTR, and AMD. There's SMCI, man. But look, AVGO, they got earnings this week also. So look, check this out. So most of these are semis. We got Nvidia, we got AMD, we got M SMCI. I'm just gonna start calling it super microcomputer, man, because I can't, it's weird. I can't say this acronym for some reason, or just not that acronym, is ticker for some reason. And then AVGO. So we got four of these are semiconductor stocks, and then we got Meta up here, and we got this MSTR. This is heavy in the crypto, so when this is another one of those stocks that run when the crypto gang come out. So yeah, and on the flip side for Friday, they were shorting Tesla, Snow, AMD, I'm sorry, Apple, PANW, and GE. As far as the weekly performance, now a lot of flow was going into Amazon, man, and Peter did not even alert us that Amazon was piling up. There was accumulating before it broke out and took off. So yeah. So, but J Rock, I think we're on to something, man. I think you should just take over the stock from Peter at this point, man. So I just think that's the best thing to do. So then we got Nvidia, followed by AMD, Meta, Microsoft, and then there's that super microcomputer down there. On the flip, Apple, MAR, CMI, Tesla, and Palo Alto. So this was the like the top flow on calls and puts for the week. Now let's just take a look. So we're gonna take a look at a few of them. All right, so we hopping into it, man. So look, so this is how we finished the week off, man. We finished the week off another $1,000 week. You know, for every week since this year started, we've cleared $1,000 per week per option. So that means if you just grabbed one trade for every one contract for every trade that I alerted this week, you would have made at least $1,000 in profit. You know what I mean? You know, most people grab more than one contract so that they double up those profits. So when I say per option, I mean if you grabbed one for each trade. So that's a great achievement for the week. You know, we had a nice achievement on the week. So just shout out to everybody, man, who played a part in this, and yeah, shout out to y'all, man. So yeah, and then these are the monthly profits for it. Now look, let's be clear before we look at these monthly totals, and you can't see the whole chart. I'm gonna go out of full screen just so y'all can see this whole thing. So look, man, look, check this out, right? I feel like yeah, so I'm just gonna keep it like that for now so you can see the whole thing. But look, check this out. These profits do not include Meta or Tesla earnings. So that's another $5,300 that's not included in this total for the month because, you know, I didn't want to include them in our actual trade totals, right? So, but we cleared $5,174 for this month per option.
Look, cheers to you. Cheers to you.
And these are net profits. These are net profits. So when you subtract the losses from the wins, this is what's left over for the month. So for the year, you know, we're up, you know, we had 4,100 or 4,200 last month and per option. And now we're at 5174 for the month of the shortest month of the year, February. And yeah, so we crushed it. We crushed it. And again, like I said, these are on a per options basis. So per one trade. So this is a great feat. And like I said, if you include the the Meta and Tesla earnings, you know, we cleared over 10 bands for the month per option. We crushed this month. So yeah. Just this is I'm only showing y'all this because well, number one, we need to do a recap, but number two is just sticking to the process works. You know what I mean? There's no reason not to stick to the process. You know, if you stick to the process, you're gonna make money. You know, sometimes you may not see exactly where, you know, what the picture is or what's going on, but just follow and or ask questions. But you know, I'm putting a few sanctions on people who got out of Meta early. So, you know, just know y'all got some sanctions coming for the people who got out of Meta early. But I do want to take a moment to say shout out to KK for, you know, Meta. Shout out to Wayne for Meta, man. Shout out to Peter for Meta. Shout out to Reese for Meta, man. These are the people that I saw that were in Meta and actually held the contracts and understood the assignment, man. So shout out to y'all, man. Y'all crushed it this week, man. And like I said, look, check this out. I'm just gonna say this, man. I see it. I see a lot of the traders in the group, man, doing their own thing and buying their own, you know, doing their own contracts. I watch the amount of money that gets spent on a lot of other trades. And think about it like this: those Meta contracts were $250. When I told everybody, when I came in on Wednesday and told everybody what I told y'all about those key levels and everything, those contracts were like $100, right? Basically, I wanted to make sure that people didn't miss out on that bag. I'm looking at like if you spending $1,000 or $500 on another trade or whatever, and you ain't make the type of money that you would have made if you put that 500 in Meta, then you should just stick to the process. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason to jump around. Like, I'm just gonna throw this out there. Let's say you took $1,000, or let's say $500. You took $500 and you put it in a Netflix play, for example, and you made $1,000 maybe, let's just say, or you made whatever you made, right? If you'd have took that same money and put it in Meta, you would have made a lot more money. That's all I'm saying, like a hell of a lot more money. And it's just that you know, if the trades that I'm alerting, they're on a per options basis, if you multiply those contracts at key moments and stuff like that, or depending on what type of trade it is, you'll make a lot of money. Just think about because like I said, if you were trading with us last year and didn't finish the year with at least 40 bands per option, and that means just you gotta, you should just reevaluate, the process and just stick to that. But lessons learned, man, recap. I want to hear how y'all feel about this past week, or just like whatever. If you learned anything, if there's a recap, anything you want to say. Now is the time for us to do that before we move on.
Well, I had a great week. I really didn't. I made a couple $1,000 and I was really only in 2 plays. And so I'ma just shout my own self out for that, for being diligent and sticking to my process. I told Antoine, like, towards the end of the year, I said, this year coming up, I'm not playing. I'm only taking your trades and Microsoft, because I watch Microsoft, and that's going to be the only ones that you see. And that has worked for me very, very well this year. And I'm up substantially this year. So just thank you for all that you do for us, because you really be helping us. But I'm gonna just talk about, I gotta talk about Wayfair, because a lot of people wasn't in Wayfair. Shout out my boy Peter, because me and Peter held it down and made that thing do what it was supposed to do. Antoine told us what the price target was. He was like, it was 60, and we held basically until 60, and that was from, we bought those contracts on the 21st. And I think when did we sell, Peter? Like, I think like the 28th or something like that. Like it was like a week. I believe it was like a week we held it. But every day it kept, when I spoke to Antoine, I was like, one day we just randomly were texting. I was like, yeah, I'm still in W. He was like, okay, you understand the assignment. And I was like, yeah, I'd see it. It keeps taking out the highs. It's holding the level. It hasn't broken down. Like, yeah, it looked like it's going to 60, like you said. And sure enough, so that was like over 200% profit on that trade. Meta, goodness, what can I say? Like that was one of those that I've seen it happen multiple times. So I've seen us grab a play earlier in that week, and Antoine give us the target, and the market is volatile, that stock is volatile. So you're gonna see some movement. It's not gonna be just straight up every time, and just remembering that if we have levels and it doesn't break those levels, to stay in the trade. And those are the times, like, okay, it's pulled back now here. I grabbed another one. He was talking to us we had like a little separate tip jar Zoom, and he just randomly was like, oh yeah, Meta's still doing what it's supposed to do, blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh yeah, I'm about to have another one, because I know it's going to 495, because if he call a strike, 9 times out of 10, it's going in the money. That I have witnessed enough, and everybody in this group who's consistently in this group has seen that enough. So I knew it was going to 495 at the least. But once it held 490 on Thursday, I knew what was about to happen. I knew it was getting ready bang. It had been simmering. If you looking at the chart, and he tell us all the time, every chart tell a story. That chart been simmering, just bubbling. And it was ready to pop. And when it popped, it banged. And look, we was in and out, me and Wayne in and out quick off the 15, 20 minutes, up over $1,000. So yeah, thank you for those. I had a phenomenal week. And I'm just, this one last one, I think that was Thursday. He had posted the Microsoft chart like, yo, I think it's about to break out. Oh yeah, I grabbed them in the last 5 minutes and made a quick 80% off of that trade. Like, yeah, it's doing what it need to do right now.
Mm-hmm.
And March Madness about to start.
March Madness is about to start. Yeah, no, that was great. That was great. That was great. And then I want to say, look, fun fact, Wayfair was not included in our profits total either. So it's a lot of things I don't include in the profits total. But yeah, I mean, anybody else want to have, recap or anything they want to share from this past week? Whether it's something you learned, something you just want to share, something you observed.
Hey, what's happening, y'all?
Kevin.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, I wasn't on that tip chart Zoom, but I was looking at the meta chart on Thursday too, and I was like, yeah, that shouldn't like if it's ready to go as well. Kind of like what KK was saying, and I just went ahead and I picked one up. I think around 3 o'clock on Thursday. Got that joint for like 103.
Nice,
So
nice, nice.
yep, I was just following what Antoine was saying during the study group and during the whole week, basically, and I just understood the task. You know what I'm saying? And then I also hopped into CVNA yesterday, so I'm still holding that. I got 2 weeks on it for 100 strike. That joins up 100%. Rolling that into rolling that into this week. So
Nice.
thank you for your insight because it looks like it wants to go.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And yeah, so I mean, I'm glad you hopped back on CVNA too, because I'm actually that's a great chart too. And I told y'all last week, I said if it breaks over this particular level, it's going to 100. Well, first I said if it got over 61, it was going to squeeze. And I had two price targets that got hit on there. And I'm like, when it got over that 80, once it got over that 80, it was going to squeeze to 100. So it's just still going. And I'm glad that you in that trade. So, and that's a really, really, really good chart. That's a really good trade. Now, and this is funny with this meta chart though, because like I've been letting the team know all week that and then like I said, when it broke down on Wednesday, when the market broke down on Wednesday, I was just letting the team know, like, you look, man, it's still holding a key level. So we need to, it was a key zone that I had listed. And let me go ahead and put it on this chart because, I gotta try to clean up some of these charts, man, because, it's a little crazy at times. But yeah, I was just like, we had a key level that was being held and we needed to hold. I mean, it's wanted the team to know, like, if you weren't in meta, this was a time to get in meta. I was off on that Wednesday. Just wanted to make sure I came in there and let the team know. I didn't want the team to miss out on that bag or whatever. And that's documented in the chat because that's something that I said to the entire team. So that's why I was a little shocked to not see more people that were in meta on Friday this week. But it is what it is. Sometimes you gotta hop in that chat and read that chat, man. I came in there. I was a man of little words on Wednesday. So I came in there specifically to talk about meta and leave. And so I thought everybody would have been in that trade. So this is where again, that's one of the meetings where if when we get to the charts that we're going to and trades that we're watching for this upcoming week and we start telling the story about these charts, if you don't understand something, you got to ask questions. But what happens is, if you were taking a course or a class, you can't, this ain't an audio book. You can't ride around or be at a cookout or at the gym or anything with your AirPods in just listening to this meeting. You need to be at your computer watching these screens so that way you can know what's going on, because when game time, the coach, we ain't got time to during game time to tell you what to do during game time. Everybody's locked in game time. We expect you, we just the coach just gonna put you in and you be ready to go. You know what I'm saying? So this is the time where, when we talk in these levels and we watching these levels, we analyzing this price action and prepping for the upcoming Fed speak and stuff like that, that you actually you're locked in and you asking the appropriate questions and you really dialed in. So I'm just saying, like, I'm calling y'all out because y'all failed the assignment last week, the people who weren't in meta on Friday. And you, like KK said, this ain't no cocky or nothing. Like, if I call out a strike, most of the time it goes in the money. I don't really recall a time like this year that I called out a strike that didn't go in the money, especially with regard to meta. So and we've been talking about that story where price was headed, for several weeks. It's just like I said, a chart tells a story. Now, this is crazy because we broke out of, and what I tell y'all, I said also, I said if if Meta did break out at 500, it was going to go parabolic, because now that we're this is just where the stock is headed. But look, we broke out of this rising wedge. Rising wedges are typically bearish formats, right? They're brand bearish formations, right? And but this is something that we got to also pay attention to. And this is what I've been watching too. Ever since earnings, and even before earnings, but let's just stick to earnings. Meta's been bouncing off that non-EMA on the daily. so it's been holding. So you're looking at now, I always say market structure over EMAs, but sometimes then at some points sometimes EMAs become a part of the structure depending on what price is doing. And it's been using this as a support the entire time for the uptrend. It's been bouncing off of it the entire time. So at that point, it does, becomes a part of the structure just in regards to the just the immediate price action especially since earnings, because we've been holding this earnings move up and price has been moving. Now, where is it going now? I have no idea, but I'm waiting for a retest, right? So this is my thing. You know what I say, like, and it played out to perfection last week. Like I said, our first price target was the 494.36. That was the all-time high, but I already knew if it went there, it was those 495s were going in the money. And I'm like, once it breaks through there and stabilizes over that level, then it's going to 500, right? That was the next level. But I'm like, but if it sometimes I was just talking about this the other day, but if price actually just blast through there and it's just going straight to 500, and that's exactly what happened. This is the weird thing, and KK was talking about it yesterday, but like she said this specifically, and I love to hear her talk about it. She said that when it broke through and it went to 497, it came back and it retested. Let's look at the session hourly. Hold on. Well, probably a 5 minute will be better because then we could see it actually play out. But what actually happened was it broke out and then it came back and retested 495 first. So that's the breakout point. That is the breakout point. So, that's the breakout point. Then and then it came back and it retested. So, like what we always say, previous resistance becomes new support, and if that happens, then that's the place where that's where you can enter a trade at that point, or but that's what you're looking for. That's what you're looking for to happen. And it's crazy. Now I know this is a 5 minute chart, and we don't like to really look at 5 minute charts, but Meta is bull flagging on the 5 minute right now, and this is an intraday time frame. This actually is going to be, to me, they're obsolete during after hours, because they're just intraday. We obviously, the daily is the daily. We got a strong breakout. Now I'm looking for price to consolidate a little while before continuation, but we got another. Meta just does bull flag after bull flag. That's why I like trading it. Here's a bull flag breakout, and here's a bull flag breakout, and then here we go again. You know what I mean? So now we got another one. Price is consolidating here over the 9 EMA. We got a whole lot going on right now. But yeah, but my thing is, like I said, I'll just wait to see what price does. If price stabilizes at that level and just give me some consolidation heading into the next, heading into next week, or just whatever it does, that's what I'll be looking for to see what happens. I'm not waiting. I'm not saying what's gonna happen next week. We got a lot of stuff happening next week, but I do want to show y'all a few things when we get to that part. But since we're talking about Meta, let me just go back to the daily chart and let's look at the weekly, because this is crazy. This is a crazy chart right here. This is a crazy chart. So we had this flag, was flagging on a weekly, broke out of that again. So let's see if price stabilizes up here, or if it comes back down and retests the 500 first. And yeah, but it's just a little too I don't like stocks being too extended like this, man. But yeah, we'll see exactly what it does. If it starts to flag, and then we can play it from there. I don't like trading stocks at all-time highs. I wait for a pullback first and then go from there. So let's just see what happens with Meta. Now, with regard to SPY, now I'm gonna jump around in this meeting for a second because I got to. So on next week, this upcoming week, we have some big financial data coming up. We got Powell testifying on Wednesday, and he's testifying on Wednesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Now the Wednesday one is more important because that's day one, and it's just we got a lot of this stuff coming up. But I want to say the last few times, this is why this is so important. He testifies on Capitol Hill 2 times a year. And sometimes he does it let me see, hold on 1 second. What month is this? It's March now, right? Yeah, so it's March and June. It's 2 times a year. But look, I'm gonna show you what happened the last few times that he testified on Capitol
Was
Hill.
it June 22nd?
It's June 21st. I got it already listed here.
Okay.
Yeah, it was June. So the June 21st was day one. That's the one that matters. So yeah, it's right here. So we got June 21st, that Wednesday. So look, the day before, well, the market had already was on some was on some stuff anyway. We got to pull back here. Then I think we had a 2 day weekend. I think this had to be like, I don't know what holiday that was, but we were off on that Monday, and the market gapped down on Tuesday, but then it gapped down again on Wednesday, hitting into that Fed Powell testimony, and then you see the market sold off that day, right? And then gapped down the next day because he was speaking again. But then and then what happened? I remember this like yesterday because Peter had got chopped up like an IG like a I don't know what he got chopped up like the Chainsaw Massacre or something, man. And I'm laughing because it's you funny. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. But I remember this day like yesterday. But what happened was the next day we gapped down, and after Powell spoke, the market just flipped and ran. So think about it. A lot of times what happens is Powell comes out, he gonna say everything that he need to say in day one, you know? And I'm gonna tell you, I told you about this last night, but Elizabeth Warren, she's gonna be there. She's gonna be asking a whole lot of questions, and she's very, very annoying. And she moves the market though, so we gotta pay attention to her. So she will be there asking questions. I don't know what day it's probably gonna be day one, Senator. She comes out and she's gonna ask a lot of questions. And you know, if Powell take them glasses off, the market gonna fall off a cliff. But yeah, so we just pay attention to this. And then March 7th was the last time before then. And we're going into March now. And this what happened. Look, here it is. Powell's testimony died. Market just died. You know what I mean? So it's a very volatile event to pay attention to. And yeah, it's almost as bad. It's not as bad as Jackson Hole or anything like that, but yeah, but right now we're in a good cycle. So hopefully now, but this is my thing. I'm always looking at things like this. They only send them out there for one or two reasons: to take the market up or bring it down. And right now that we need some Fed levies to come out there and put some I guess some type of brakes on this market, because it's just running, man. The semis are going crazy right now. So I'm just so that's why this is important. And good looking, Katie. Yeah, as I was just saying, like the day one was the main day, but obviously, we don't know. Somebody can ask Powell something crazy on day two. You never know. And who knows? The market, it's crazy. Now we'll get to the rest of the data, but the European Central Bank, their interest rate decision is Wednesday morning. And no, it's actually Thursday. It's a Thursday at 8:15 a.m. So we need to pay attention to that too. And but we got a lot of other stuff happening this week, but we'll get to that. But yeah, so SPY is something to be watching too. But like I said, we had all-time highs. I need a pullback. I just need a pullback. Give me a pullback, and then I'm willing to trade. But right now, I just need these to pull back. So let's just look at some stocks that got some good setups on them real quick. Let's just jump into a few things. So I'm gonna start with Zscaler because it's at a key level right now. It's at a key level. It fell off a cliff for earnings, but it held this key level. Now, if it loses this level, we got a nice, and it's mid gap fill. So gaps typically get filled. But like I said, this is my thing right here, man. Like I said, market structure over all of that stuff, man. If we had a key level, why would price bounce right there? So technically, it looked like it came down and started to fill this gap, and then it stopped filling it. Well, you can call this a bounce off the gap fill. I mean, because it don't have to be precise, but it was a bounce off the gap fill. So the gap didn't get filled, right? And a gap only gets filled if price closes down here. You know what I mean? That's how you fill a gap. This just a bounce off of there, but it came back up here and closed above a key level. So I'm like, what's going to happen here now? So we'll see if it holds this level. Because look, we have a level, but we just gotta pay attention to it. Sometimes stocks bounce at these levels. It can come back up and try to fill this gap. But right now, I just don't think they already said during their earnings call on Thursday that this upcoming quarter is typically a bad quarter for them. You know what I mean? This is a slower quarter. That's what they said. And so the market just didn't, that wasn't really, they were honest, but the market just wasn't really feeling that. So let's just see if they get any strength and it holds this. But if it loses it, it's a nice move down, a nice move down to play to that gap fill area. And then then you can just play the next move down to the next level down here. But the whole point is, or just see what happens. It could just fill the gap, and either way, it'll be a nice trade. Those contracts aren't really expensive and they print, so nice trade to watch. So keep Zscaler on watch this upcoming week for a key level break. Now let's look at Apple, because Apple's been asleep for a while, and I was talking to my barber about this the other day, and I'm like, well, we got to cover Apple then this week. So here's Apple. It lost the key level, and now it looked like it closed right under it too. Hold up, let me just fix this chart. I gotta fix this chart. It's gotta go. It's gotta go, man. It's just gotta go. All right, cool. So we got Apple right here. I mean, like I said, I like to get margin on this, so I don't know if this would be up or below, but it's right here I like this move though. Bears drag price all the way down here, and Apple bulls were able to pull it back up and finish up here. So like I said, I like to get margin on any level. So to me, it looked like it's right below the level, but at the same time, you get a candle close like that doesn't mean price can't move above. So yeah, we just got to watch Apple, because right now the market is running. Remember before, there was a time where the market could not run without Apple. But now it's like we got Nvidia up there. It overtook the market cap of Amazon, and Google. So I'm like, all right, we got it up there. So now we got another, and Tesla's not playing, hasn't been participating either much. Tesla's stuck below two. It keeps hitting that 205 wall. And that's where it's just been stuck at. But yeah, this is a key area right here where Apple is. And let's see if price pivots here. If we get a price pivot here, this would be a nice move to play for Apple. But if not, if it comes down, then it got some room down to go. And let me look at the weekly to make this a little clearer to see. Much clearer on the weekly, right? See, if you look at the weekly, it's a little different. So a nice close on the weekly. If you look at this area here, I think that we got a nice little close here, but we still got to see what happens. Just got to see what happens. See if price bounces here or it comes down. We'll just see how that plays out. Let me move on with here, because we have let me just bring up this chart. One sec. So yeah, so let's talk about Target, because Target has earnings coming up this week, right? And Walmart already had earnings. They gave us that split. They split, and people were feeling like Target could be stronger than Walmart's earnings. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be stronger than Walmart's earnings, but we will see how this play out, because you remember Target, the last quarter with Target, it was nowhere for Target to go but up. Now, if you look at this weekly chart, it's just been running since the last earnings, and the market's just been running too. But this was the last earnings print right here, and then it's just been on an uptrend since then. So it's right here at another key level on the weekly. Let's get it stopped right here at a key level. So we get above that, we get some movement. Now they got earnings on Tuesday before the open. So let's see what it does. If they how price moves heading into this week. And one second. And if they're able to guide up. Now Walmart was able to guide up. Now remember, after the last quarter, what Target said during their earnings call, they were talking about how they were trying to go bigger into the grocery space like Walmart. Because like you don't really you got all the super Walmarts now. All of the Walmarts are super Walmarts. They condense in the stores, and all of them are super Walmarts now. And so Target's trying to do the same thing. Take a because it's just a lot of reasons why that's a good idea for them. And so let's just see what the growth is. And if Walmart is growing like this, like I said, I'm not saying that because Walmart is growing, Target should grow, but that would be nice if Target did a stock split too. That would be nice. We need something else, because remember, Walmart, they beat and raised guidance now, but they also announced that split, and the stock ran like a bat out of hell. It broke a key resistance and an uptrend and took off, headed with that information. So we need to keep an eye on Target. Now, listen, yeah, they got earnings coming up. Yeah, all of that's coming up and stuff like that. But there isn't much time for an earnings run up, I say. But tomorrow could be a good day for Target. Like I said, is that a key level? Let's see if it breaks here and make a move, because we can get a nice move up to 60 from here. So like any over 155.54, we can make a move up to 160 and possibly even higher. You know what I'm saying? Like my first target would be 160, 162, 162.85. That's another key level up in here. So that's where I would be looking for price to move to if that was to happen, right? So just keep an eye on that. It's a nice stock to trade. They are pricing in a $12 move for the stock for earnings. So let's just see if they're able to produce that. Look, this was another one of those horrible drops that it had right here. Now, this is a weekly chart that we're looking at. Let's go down to the daily first, because yeah. But you can see here, it's obviously more candles, but you can see the uptrend since that last earnings print. It's just been on a move. It's been on a move, and it's right here at this level. So like you can't assume. This is my thing right here. Remember, Target missed last quarter. They missed, and it was just like, okay, it was just that the loss wasn't as bad as they expected, and they kind of got it. They had a cool guide, but it was like, all right, like it was one of them things where it was nowhere else for the stock to go. It was a time to just buy. And especially if you were into Target share, if you were a Target investor, right? So now we got this earnings. It's run up since, let me see, since the last earnings print, 110. So it ran up like a good almost $60, almost $50 since the last earnings, a good $45 since the last earnings. And let's just see if it gets through this level, and let's see how price moves, or does it come back down? Does that happen? But let me see. P&G had earnings last week. I don't recall what happened with P&G. I'm pretty sure they beat, but I wasn't paying attention to it. I know Costco got earnings this week also. So another more stocks in that sector with earnings this upcoming week and Costco always beat and raise. So we'll see how that goes. And when they don't raise, they just don't give guidance at all. They won't guide down. They won't give you guidance. They'll just, yeah. But this is an interesting chart. It's an interesting chart, and it will be good to watch. So people just assume, Walmart beat, so Target's going to beat too. But Target's a weaker space. And Walmart gave us a surprise by giving us that 3-to-1 stock split. So that was another thing that pushed the stock up. Now the market is surging. And if the market is going to continue to surge, typically stocks like this are stocks that I'm not going to say they don't play a part, because this is a defensive stock too, but this isn't something that they're just dumping money into now. So we got to see what happens with Target, man. I'm interested to see how that plays out. But yeah, they are pressing in a nice move on the stock though. Now let's move on to one sec. Tesla. All right, here's Tesla, man. So interesting chart, man. We still got this this rising wedge that it's doing here, but it's still, like I said, the first target, my next target is still that 50 EMA, which is at 207.65. We get through there, then we can make a move. But up until then, it's just, but now price is starting to stack over the EMAs, man. And but if you zoom out a little bit, you look a little bear flaggish right here. So just got to be careful with it. But a bear flag can, just like a bull flag can break down, a bear flag can break out. But you see prices starting to consolidate here, and it's just been moving in this area. So it may do this for a little while longer, but we got I like when our EMAs start to cross. We got the 9 EMA crossing over the 21 EMA, and prices stacked over these two EMAs. We just need to get back over the mean value here. But like I said, it's just been a little difficult for Tesla to do that. It can consolidate in this area for a little while. To me, Tesla is not in play until it breaks out. This is what I say. This is how I am, right? If I'm a rob a bank and they saying the most that I can make is $500, I'm like, that's not worth risking my life for, right? So if you want to trade Tesla, just because you see a small little breakout like price move, don't get me wrong. Taking a move off of the 9 or 21 EMA and playing it up to this resistance. I mean, I'm like, to me, that's just not a big enough move for me to play a Tesla trade. You know what I mean? Not for me. I want the real breakout. Every chart tells a story. If I'm in a trade, I'm in a trade because I'm expecting a big move to take place. Now, let this price consolidate, because if you're playing around with Tesla and it's chopping up in this tight little range right here, wait for it to break out. The next breakout move is 207.65. It breaks out to this level, and then we get a nice price move. We got a nice move that can take place if it breaks out of there. So that's the reason why you want to wait for that. I want to only trade if it's worth it. That's where your discipline comes in. We're not just trading to be trading. If the chart's not telling a good enough story for me, then I don't want to participate in it, because I'm only willing to risk my money. Like if I took a loss in the market, it has to be for a bigger cause. Like if I had lost on Meta last week, I mean, I knew what I was looking for. So we would have talked about that loss today, and we would have talked about the loss, and we would have talked about what we were looking for and what mistakes were made and all of those things. But it was for a bigger cause. So let's wait for Tesla to break out of here for that move, So that's what I want. Now, if Tesla loses this area right here, this new area that is where price is starting to move, then I'm just saying, like, if you're just playing, some people like to play little quick trades, and that's cool. But at the same time, this little magnet is just, it's annoying. It just keeps snapping but I like to have it on though. But if price breaks out of this, breaks below here, then we can, that's a nice little move down. If you got a nice little move, I guess, if you wanted to play that. But I just feel like just waiting on Tesla, just wait for Tesla to break out. When it reclaims this 50 EMA, the 50 is the stock's mean value. That's when investors start to come back in. That's when it's attractive again. There's certain hedge funds that won't touch a stock that's below its 50 EMA. And it's just different criteria for different stocks. And then other people they'll add to a position. They obviously at the 200, and then you got the 50. These are two key or very prominent price levels that or EMAs that are important for a stock. So yeah, we need to get Tesla back over there. And you see, it's been a support area too. The same area where the 200 is, it's been a support, and now it's acting as resistance too. So again, we need to get price over that first. When I was looking at Tesla, it was before Tesla had got back over 200, and I'm like, well, okay, well, it can go to 200. What 200 was my first price target, then 205 was my second, and then 207 was my third price target. You know what I mean? But that was a big move. Right now, it's just been consolidating too long. And if you were just trading this is chop city. You know what I mean? You see the story starting to build again. Now it's only been a week, but it's still been in this same range. So let's just see what happens. Let the story. Sometimes you don't have enough pieces to the puzzle to see what the story is. So that means we don't need to trade it yet. Let's wait for the breakout, and then we got action. So that's Tesla. I'm just going to look at the weekly while I'm here. yeah, bear flag. Like I said, we still got that bear flag going on, but at the same time, like I said, it got room if it breaks out. So if it breaks out of this area, then we got action. So let's just see if that happens. Right now, let's just yeah, that's Tesla. Amazon. Amazon got a lot of room to make up, right? So, and I like the fact that we got that breakout on the weekly and there's some space for it to move. Now, I don't know if hey, has anybody traded Amazon this week? I mean, that anybody in the on the team or traded Amazon this week? If not, it's okay. I'm just asking if anybody was in it this week because I did post one of those charts too. So I just wanted to know if anybody traded it this upcoming week, this last week that just took place. But yeah, let me go back to the daily. So yeah, we got that breakout. Looks good. Nice strong move on lower volume. That's my only thing. So, but I do like the fact that it broke out. And just keep in mind, this is one of the only mega cap big tech and the Magnificent Seven that hasn't hit all-time highs right now. You know what I mean? So that's why I like Amazon a lot because it has some room. It has a lot more room to move. So this is another one to just keep on watch. I like it. I like this. I just like the whole setup on this stock. The fact that we are getting these moves and it's been riding now that it's back over the 9 EMA, but it's stacked over all 3 EMAs. I like that too. So let's just see how this plays out here. I mean, again, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm very curious to see how the Asian futures open tonight, and see if we get a pullback because that was just some crazy price action from Meta and Nvidia this week, pushing the market up the way it did. And the reason I said Meta and Nvidia is because Meta is Meta, but Nvidia woke up the entire semiconductor space, and now we got EVG, Broadcom earnings on Thursday. It's just a lot going on in this market. We also got Marvell, another chip stock earnings on Thursday too. So it's just it's a lot going on in the space right now. And so let's just see if the semis continue to push the market higher. You know, they're with the evaluation of Nvidia, it should be $1,000 stock pretty much. That's what they're saying. And so it's no real reason for it to stop at this point. Obviously, pullbacks are pullbacks, but long as they hold key levels, then that's just an opportunity to add. It's a lot of, according to FactSet, there are a lot of hedge funds that are adding to Nvidia at these levels, which is crazy. So the market goes higher if that's the case, right? Unless Powell comes in here and slaps the market down, but then you still go up higher. I don't think there's really much that can be said. I'm not going to say that, but when I say that can bring the market down, I mean that can break the structure. Obviously we're going to get pullbacks, but yeah, this is keep Amazon on watch. If it breaks out of if it over 178.75, we can make a move into 780. I mean 71, I'm sorry, 180 and then 185. So just keep this on watch for next week now, and as long as it holds, and like I said, my thing is, if you were thinking about trading puts on it or something like that, I wouldn't touch puts until it loses 174.19. That's where I would trade puts, and then you can get a nice move maybe down to 170.36, and then even further down. But just I would just I wouldn't play it to the put side unless it loses that level. It's not worth it. Not worth it at all. Now let's move on to. Had a list of stocks that I was going to hit. Oh yeah, I know which one I was going to hit. But look, so here's another one, Netflix. So Netflix been on the move now. Look, check this out. Netflix it sustained most of its gains from Friday. We don't have no wick at the bottom, and we barely got a wick at the top. So it held most of its gains. That's a nice bullish candle, right? Nice breakout. It's been riding the EMA, but then the whole space was running. The whole communication services sector minus Apple is running. Even Microsoft finally broke out. So we got that move. So yeah, like let me go to the weekly here on this chart. So it just took out another level. Well, I'm sorry, it's right there at another level. We break out of this level here, And then if Netflix really gets over this 620 like that, it can really make a nice move. It'll be on par for a really nice move up in the 640 and even higher if it breaks over this level. We get a nice move on next Netflix, so obviously Netflix, those stocks are the shares are and options are very expensive, but you gotta be able to just monitor the momentum of the stock, only trade it when it's breaking out, or unless you see a setup that tells a longer story, add some time and choose the right strike, something that can kind of reasonably get in the money. The average true range for Netflix is about $14 per day the stock moves. So just keep that in mind too when trading it and where it is. That's a crazy price surge. So I wonder if we get a pullback first, maybe down, because Netflix makes them dynamic moves. Like I said, $14 a day on average. So another stock to really keep on watch just for a bigger move. Let me just see what the monthly looks like. Just closed. Yeah, crazy surge in price here. So it's like when you remove all of the noise and you look at a monthly chart, each candle represents 1 month of price action, and it just looked like a smooth move up, right? So a lot of smart money, they don't look at all of that noise. They probably won't go lower than the weekly chart, and they're not looking at the noise. They're not doing surgery on those candles or being down there in the trenches. They are up here. So longer term, if you hold in the trade for a year or something like that, you trade in leaps, then you looking at the monthly chart. You're not going to be looking at those lower time frames. Now, this stuff don't really apply to us unless you're trading or you're looking at I mean, it does sometimes depending on the situation. I'll look at the monthly at the beginning of the month or the end of the month just to see how things shaping up. But yeah, price is shaping up pretty nicely on a Netflix chart, man. I'm just saying it can make another move here. Like I said, we break out of that level, then we can hit that we over 620, we can hit 631 to 640. Nice move on Netflix. Now I'm looking for I would love a retest first. Come back down here and retest this 178. What is that? I'm sorry, 159 or maybe I'm sorry, 179. Come back down, retest 179 or 579. I'm saying, man, I'm all over the place, but I mean, that's what I meant. This is a weekly chart too that we're looking at. So it won't happen probably in a day, something, but this would be a nice pullback down to this area. Give it some margin. Let me just put a level there. Be a nice pullback down to in this area here. Yeah. And come on. Here we go. Get a nice pullback down in there, then take off. That'll be nice. But yeah, Netflix, just looking at the other stocks in this sector. Now, again, we talked about target earnings, right? So let's look at XLP. XLP is an ETF that tracks the consumer staples sector and we got Costco got earnings this week too. We got a few other stocks that got earnings this week that are in this particular sector. So this is probably a good ETF to watch, or you can even trade it just as opposed to trading all of those stocks. Now it's been on a tear, but you see it's been in this channel, but it's also bull flagging on the weekly if you look at it. So it's just it's ready for a breakout to take place, or it can just come to the top of here and just and make a move down. Like at the top of a channel, you make moves down, and that's typically what happens. And you come up and you make that move down. That could happen too. So let's just keep an eye on that. But if it breaks out, then we get a nice move on it. So let me go down.
Which one was that again?
XLP.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah, XLP. For the consumer staples. Yeah. So you see, like it's just been on this uptrend. It's been bouncing off these major EMAs, and it's just been moving in. It's been moving higher, but you see it. But also we got this channel here. If I zoom out a little bit, that's why it's always good to just like come zoom out and do a little surgery on these candles, see what's going on. Now look at this channel here. See if I get this right. I'm gonna have to move it. I already know. Yeah, it's just like it's never really this channel kind of. So if you see, like, it's just been price has been in this channel for a while on the daily. So it's giving us some levels, so range to play. And now it's starting to kind of get a little tight. So let's see if we continues to trend up, or if it because you see it's been holding this, but it hasn't really been sticking. Price hasn't really been sticking to one of these EMAs too much. So, I mean, for the last 2 weeks, it's been holding a non-EMA and bouncing off of that, right? But then if we got a 222 reversal here, but it finished up with a bounce off of this 21, if it price continues down, then we can get a nice move down here to the bottom of the channel. And that's all. It also lines up with the 50 EMA too. So just something to keep on watch for this. And again, we got big earnings from some of the top stocks that are in this sector. So in this ETF, we got Burlington got earnings, Ross got earnings, Target got earnings, Costco got earnings, Big Lots. All of these stocks that are in that particular ETF, they got earnings coming up. And yeah. And there's a lot of them that already had earnings. So just keep an eye on this. I think Kroger is in there too. But yeah. Let's look at some energy stocks, man, because energy has been on the rise. We saw but let's start with XLE, the ETF that tracks the energy sector. Now you see how look an inverse of the last chart, right? How we got price up there, but now on the flip side with energy, price came all the way down. I need to look a little deeper on this one because this is no, this is not even it. This is something else. I'm like, damn, this doesn't look like XLE. It's not that dead. Yeah, I hit the wrong sector, the wrong ticker. Yeah, I'm like, okay, yeah, all right, there we go. So we got a flag breakout here. If you look a little bit, got a flag breakout here, and we got a gap up in price on Friday. So this is and again, this is an ETF that you can watch that tracks the sectors. Now Exxon and Chevron probably look just like this ETF right now. But we got a level up in here, and that's where price is up in here. So we can break out of here. I say if we can get over. Now let me just see something quickly first. Yeah, if we can get over, let's say get over 87.55, we can possibly make a nice move up into 88, and then even into just a little higher up, because again, we got a breakout on this, and let's just see if it continues. Energy has been down for a while, and this could probably be a reverse, actually a move up. So let's see if we can actually get that to take place. I like that flag breakout. And let's just see if we get over this area here and close over this level, we can get a nice move higher with energy if we are able to do so. So this is just something that I would keep an eye on. And because over this level right here, we get a pivot, a price pivot, because it's been rejecting the hell out of this area. And you see we just got another one. So it could possibly come down here or it goes up. So I would keep energy on watch. Let me just take a look at Exxon just because we're looking at look just like it, same chart pretty much. And Chevron probably looked the same. Got the price gap up. We had the bull flag right here. Pretty much look the same. So that's why I say just trade the ETF. But the Chevron contracts or Exxon are going to print harder than that. So let's keep that on watch. Now I'm going to move on actually, I got to hit one more stock first before I move on. Two more stocks, then I'll move on. I'm going to hit Palo Alto first, and then I'm going to hit CrowdStrike. So here's another stock that finished at a key level here, right? After falling off a cliff, we traded that on Friday too. Shout out to everybody who was in that trade with me on Friday. It was a crazy trade. And yeah, something else that wasn't included in the totals for last month. But yeah, but key level right here, I like them. I like when price holds a key level. Let's just see. And all I'm saying is keep an eye on it to see if it actually bounces here, because it's below all of its not major EMAs. I got to see where the 200 is actually. Let me just see something. I'm just curious to see where that 200 is. I just want to know. This price kind of got a little, okay, 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 okay. All right, so we just reclaimed that and all right, so I can, yeah, so 200 is right there. Good stuff, good stuff. Because we needed to know, I just needed to know where that was in conjunction with what was going on. Just reclaim that, good. That's why they brought it up. But you see, it rejected the non-EMA and the 50 and 21. It rejected all of them, but it's at this area here. If it bounces, we can get another move. But like I said, I'm one of those. This stock actually moves pretty. The contracts are fairly priced, and well, later on in the week anyway. And this could be a nice move. This could be a nice move. But I would wait until it clears the non-EMA first to even to touch it. But I was really looking at it for puts, to be honest. I'm like, if it loses this key level, we got a long way down. So let's just keep an eye on this. If we lose this key area, so like if it loses 300 again, then and we get a nice move. We got a nice price move down. So this is one to watch. And technically it's just still in play. It's still in play for a move down. Still in play. So this one is a really good one to watch for puts, man. Because if and now if we take out that 296.80, we get a nice move down. We get a nice move down to we got a nice like $8 moves down. I'm sorry, nice $8 move down. Then we got a move down here all the way down to the what is this? The gap fill area. So just keep an eye on it. And then there's a key level down there. And we know the 200 EMA is down there too. I'm not sure that's going to happen, but let's just, follow the price action. I just think I like when you see a setup like this, it came back and closed above a key level, but it was something else already in play. Let's just see how that plays out. And the weekly, we got that inverse hammer. And yeah, it just looked like it had some room down, but like I said, it held that level. So let's just see how it plays out. Crowd. Huh. CrowdStrike is setting up to fall off a cliff for earnings on Tuesday after the close. That's all I got to say about CrowdStrike. That's all I got to say about it. Because and I'm not saying that they can't beat, because look, I mean, we had a few other stocks that from the sector that actually came out and produced a beat, but they all produced beats and then guided down, most of them anyway. So I feel like CrowdStrike has been running into the last running since the last earnings, and it's just been on the move. But look, this is the thing. I will say this because I gotta be fair. But look at this chart, man. How can you realistically just not? Nah, CrowdStrike can go higher. I will say that CrowdStrike can go higher for several reasons. But let's pay attention to the billings guidance. Let's pay attention to what they're forecasting for this upcoming quarter. I mean, the full year guidance is going to be important, but what they're forecasting for the immediate a quarter ahead is what we need to pay attention to too. I'm just for us trading it in the short term. Now, this is a nice trade. You see, it's stacked over all of its major EMAs, and it's been bouncing off this non-EMA. But like I said, a price surge into the last since the last earning. They're pricing in a $40 move on the stock. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's set up nicely to me to make a nice move back down. So and again, I've seen other things happen. So let's see how this plays out. Let's just see how it plays out. But yeah, it's a stock with a big move, set up for earnings, and just something to keep on watch. I would definitely keep it on watch. Yeah, this is a good one. And it's a good stock to play into earnings too. Like when I say is they normally make a nice move the day of earnings. So if you're looking for an earnings run-up trade just to make some money off of it and then sell it before earnings, this is a nice stock to do so, because they like to make nice moves on earnings. It could pull back or it could continue up depending on what the market does, right? So I would keep CrowdStrike on watch, so hold up, say that again.
You said Tuesday after hours.
I'm sorry.
You said Tuesday after hours?
Yep, Tuesday
Okay.
after hours. Yep. So I would keep that on watch. And yeah, it's a big week ahead of us. I don't trade Costco and I don't trade Broadcom. Those are too expensive stocks, but they have earnings on Thursday after the close. Something to possibly watch. Another stock that you could possibly watch, and I'm a Foot Locker. Foot Locker is another one. You probably want to keep an eye on this one, right? Another stock just that they, it can possibly make a move. They've been trying to turn to the CEO. She's been trying to turn the company around and she's been making some progress, but not, 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. But it's just been, now we got a nice move happening here. Let's see if this is a good run up, another trade that you can that's good as a run up. Now, look like it wants to continue running up. Now, this could possibly happen before earnings. You know what I mean? We got a nice push through here and we still held this key level. So it looked like it wants to take a move back up into 40. So let's just keep an eye on it to see if that actually takes place. And because like I said, they got earnings coming up and that could possibly happen. But just keep an eye on it. And they're pricing in a $6 move on the stock. So let's just see what happens. Or do they fix the issue or does it come down? I mean, personally, I think it comes down, but that's just me personally. But what do I know? We just guessed its earnings, right? But it's been running up. They've been moving. It looked like, and it's set up with a bull flag on the daily for a breakout move. So this would be a nice trade to possibly play heading into, this upcoming week's earnings. And I just feel like that, like again, I like a bull flag. Look at the flagpole on this. So this could take us into that 40, possibly, you know what I'm saying? And this is pre-earnings. That would be, and if they were smart, they would run it up into the earnings print so that, just to kind of cushion that fall if it does pull back. So yeah, this is a nice, I like this setup right here on this chart right here. And there's a big gap fill that's starting, that is already filling right now. You see this gap right here. Oops, hold on. Here is the gap that's being filled. And we're starting to get deeper into the gap fill area now. And that was an earnings gap from several quarters ago. So yeah, just keep this on watch, man. Another one to keep on watch. Now, I'm not going to cover this right now, but Box also, I would say keep an eye on that one. Another one of those stocks in that sector that needs to be watched. You remember last week with never mind, forget that, because I don't think nobody was involved in that. It was just a few of us. But yeah, so DocuSign also, I haven't been, it's another stock that has a good run up. Who knows what could happen with it as far as the earnings goes. But the run up is crazy. Now, this was the last earnings print on it. It got chopped in the middle and then it ran like a bat out of hell for the next few days, right? So it'll be a good run up trade. And after the print type trade, it's at a key level or just now near a key level here right now, closing right where it closed, and we can make a nice move on this. So this is another stock that I would keep an eye on. Remember, a lot of these stocks that are dead right now or that were dead, they're being bought up in a bull market, right? So over the 50, let's just say over 50, over 55, let's just over 55, this can make a nice move into 58. There's a gap area up there, a gap fill area up there also that I would keep an eye on. I like run-up trades, man. Run-up trades are good because you need a catalyst to create volume, right? So that's the catalyst to create the volume, and then you be done with the trade. Then you can or trade it the day after, So something just to keep an eye on. Yeah, so this is a good stock, good chart, not good stock. Then we got that price pivot after the bullish engulfing. We got that 2-2 continuation after the reversal. reclaim those EMAs. Like that was another thing here. You see how the 50, the non-EMA is about to cross above the 50 EMA. I like that. I like that on the stock. Really nice. So let's just see what happens and go from there. Last chart. IWM. ETF that tracks the Russell 2000, the small cap stocks, it's been on a surge. Now I had this area right here where it's been price been stuck and it broke out of there. We got a nice price surge and we finally closed over this breakout area. It's been struggling with this area for a little while and it hasn't been able to close over the top of this. And we finally got that close over the top of this area. So come on, do we got action finally now on the small caps again? Now, obviously we had a breakout down here, but I'm talking about different areas. There's different areas in price, right? So now we're starting to really make a move on the stock. You know, so we got that breakout. Now let's see if we can get a real move or another move on the stock now, because we, you know, now that where did it close? It closed at 205.89. If we can take out that 206.35, we can make a move into 212. And this is a weekly chart, so that means that would be, it would take a few days or, you know, or longer for that to move. And you see this flag right here that we got. I just like the way price is starting to break out here on the small cap stocks. We needed that to happen. So that's just something that we should probably keep on watch. And yeah, let me switch here. So, economic events, man. We got some things coming up, so we need to really pay attention to what's going on. And I just want to make sure that I put y'all on game. Because we didn't even talk about it, but it's some important events that are coming up right now that are way important than earnings. So yeah, I know we already talked about Powell's testimony or whatever on Wednesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. But Mester, she's also speaking at 11:30 a.m. The last time Mester spoke during the week of one of these Fed testimony appearances, the market fell off a cliff when she started speaking. So I would just keep an eye on whatever she says, and she's probably going to be there. I don't know, but just watch her, man. And then daily, you got to watch her too. So it's just like it's you know, you got to watch these women and these Fed speakers. And then what I say is because they just they don't, it's like no filter on what they say about the economy, right? So if they're not going to be politically correct, and there was a guy named Bullard, but James Bullard, he retired and went to work for a bank or something now. But he was another one. But you know, these are two that you really got to worry about. And you got the vice chair speaking on Tuesday at noon. So, but yeah, so those are Fed speakers. But look, we got ISM services PMI on Tuesday. We got ADP non-farm payroll on Wednesday. We got JOLTS data on Wednesday. This is going to be important because it's coming out at 10 a.m. right when Powell is starting his testimony. We got the ECB interest rate decision I was telling y'all about. This is on Thursday pre-market, jobless claims. Then we got the big jobs data, the big non-farm payrolls on Friday, right? So we got a lot of stuff going on this week, man, and a lot of stuff to keep an eye on. And of course, we already went through some of these earnings trades or whatever that we were going to cover. But yeah, we got a big week ahead of us, and I just want everybody to be prepared for what's to come. And right now, like I said, I'm just waiting for the market to kind of give us a move, and we'll play off these economic events because that's what's going to be the most important thing. I showed y'all the charts of what happened last time Powell spoke and the last few times, and sometimes the market just prepares for it and gap down. But I don't know where those. We got to also look at the environment that we were in. We were still in a bear market cycle where they were talking about, are we going to get a soft landing for this recession that we're going to have now? And they're like, no recession, no more rate hikes, you know, maybe some rate cuts later on in a year, maybe one. So, you know, we got a lot of that going on. So that everything changes now. And so that doesn't mean the market's going to fall off a cliff this time, you know. So we just got to just pay attention to what's going on and just be ready. but the market ran up quite a bit, and I'm just waiting to see what happens. And again, we got big earnings from some semiconductor stocks that we got to watch out for. So that's all I have. And we already hit the chart setups. And again, thank y'all for y'all time. I know we went over a few minutes, but I wanted to make sure I got those charts done. And I will see y'all this week. And thanks for joining.
Thank you, Antoine.
No problem.
Appreciate you, bro. Great
Thank you.
information.
Appreciate you, all your time.
Thank you, Antoine.
No
Thanks,
problem.
Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Appreciate it, bro.
Appreciate you, fam. Much love.